Hi, everyone. Welcome to Module 4. This is the Bounce and Shine coaching method, and today we're talking about the power of forwarding feedback, clear, concise, clean communication with your clients that's neutral, that is an opportunity to move forward, and it's a very powerful concept and idea and tangible tool that you're going to be able to take into your practice and really reduce resistance as well with your clients. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. So let's get started. So Module 4, teaching points. What is forwarding feedback and how does it help foster that clear communication and improve experiences in sessions, reduce resistance, and overall outcomes? When to use forwarding feedback in sessions, and the forwarding feedback steps that make giving feedback easy and more meaningful. Sometimes we want to say something to our clients. We want to communicate back to them. We want them to know. We want them to have that motivation that they had in session 1. And it's easy to get, as practitioners, stuck. So this is meant to give you a roadmap and permission to be able to speak up in a way that really serves your clients and serves forwarding moving motion. So what is forwarding feedback? Forwarding feedback is our perception of our clients' behaviors and how they are impacting their desired result or outcome. The purpose of feedback is to help our clients be present and understand the connection between their behaviors and the outcome. You may think this is obvious to them, but sometimes it's not. They need our help in reflecting back to them what we're noticing, what we're seeing. And it also brings clarity to both parties, to your client and to you as the practitioner or coach, and fosters healthy and clear communication that lends itself to forwarding action versus staying stuck in resistance. And I also like to say resentment, because it's really easy to go to a space of resentment with clients who are not following through or being avoiding or ambivalent. It's frustrating. So when to use forwarding feedback, it can be used when clients are not following through, consistently canceling or engaging in any kind of behavior that is negatively impacting the result that they said that they wanted, right? So, and of course, also, feedback is not always about negative performance in any way. Also, when clients are rocking it and when you want to highlight possibility for them, what you see for them, if you indeed see something, and a way to really appreciate them as well. So forwarding feedback is not any kind of judgment or blame, or it's not even a position that you're taking against them. It's not a personal attack. It's not meant to be focused on the problem at all. It's not problem focused. And it's definitely not the truth. So if you can accept that this is not that your perception is not necessarily the truth, because we'll get into this later. Clients have such good reasons for doing things, and we love to be like, oh my gosh, they're making so many excuses. And that's my like that kind of like bitter, resentful space that we can sometimes all fall into, right? Even our perception is not necessarily the truth. Our clients have very good reasons for doing things. Okay. As soon as we start blaming them for making excuses, then we start taking a position against them. And that's not what we're here for. And in this, at the same time, sometimes it isn't the time and space for clients to, once you get in there and you're working with them, and it is appropriate to be able to release them in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And we'll get into that at the end, that 3 strikes and you are out. So forwarding feedback is solution focused. The purpose of it is to move further along on the journey, is to learn, is to come up with, is a new opportunity to discover and explore. It's purposeful, and that creates openings and opportunities for growth. So it's powerful. Forwarding feedback step 1. So we're going to get into the steps now. There's only 3. It's super simple. But once you master this, you're going to know what to do when you feel those feelings in session bubble up, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person is doing this again, right? And that comes from back to module 1, being aware and mindful of how you're feeling in sessions. So if you start to feel on the defense, or like you're getting in a discussion with a client and you really want to be right, that is a sign to just take a deep breath. Because it's not really about being right. So you'll ask for permission, right? So you'll say, hey, can I offer you something that I'm noticing? If you are going to appreciate somebody or acknowledge somebody, you don't necessarily need to do that. Need to say that. You can say, I just would really love to appreciate or acknowledge you for XYZ, for really showing up, for always doing your work, for, really, already getting, halfway to your goal and to where you wanted to be. That's amazing. But when you're wanting to offer some feedback that could be perceived as negative, you want to ask for permission. And yes, your clients could say no. They usually won't. They usually say yes. They need you to be a rock and a fork in the road. So you'll say, hey, can I offer you something I'm noticing? Remember, this is from a neutral space. You're not going to get ready to lay down, everything that they're doing wrong or how they're not following through. This is powerful, clear dialogue. Number 2 is to share your feedback by describing what you are seeing and the impact it's having on the outcome your client wants. Remember, you know what they want, you know why they want it. And if they're coming through, they're not following through, or they're doing anything else that's contributing to them moving in the opposite direction, well, it's your responsibility with permission to tell them, right? You're the expert. So you also want to keep it balanced with what's working for them and what's not working for them. Okay. So, wow, I really love how you show up on time to every session. You're really eager. You're open for anything. Every single time I pull these handouts out, you're like, yes, 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 yes. Give it to me. Let's do it. Let's do the work. And that's so cool. And I noticed that when you come into sessions, there's usually one big thing that you've done every time, and then there's these 2 other things that seem to kind of get swept under the rug. And I'm just wondering if you've noticed that. Okay. So you'll be objective. You just tell the truth. It's factual. It's not, oh, hey, you're doing this. It's just, hey, have you noticed? I'm going to give you an example in a minute. So there's no blaming or criticizing, especially, with the negative feedback portion. 3 is about connection, and it's connection, helping the client be present and connect to what they're doing to their outcome. They said they wanted this thing. So in the most classic, easiest example of this, your client says they want to lose weight, yet they haven't really done anything, or they said they were going to exercise and add that component in, and then they still haven't, or they did twice out of 30 days, right? So helping them stay present to the outcome that they really want. And connection, that connection is really about appreciating what's working, right? What's working. Maybe their food is like really come a long way, and you're like, wow, this is like so great. Like your macros are on point. I'm really noticing that. And you keep saying and promising to yourself, not to me, that you're committed and like you really want to exercise. Does that still feel true for you? Because what's not working is, breaking that promise with yourself, when you're coming in. And even that is even a little bit too critical. So, but what's not working is, again, you said that you wanted to add more exercise in. Is there any way I can help you? Is there any way you want to explore that, exploring solutions? And I have this here because it's a really important point that some behaviors are required for outcomes. Okay. So for example, gut healing. Be clear in what will happen if they don't execute certain parts of your protocol or the journey. So sometimes there's flexibility in what we can offer our clients, right? There's more than one way to do things and get an outcome for sure. You know, we can try this over here. We can try that over here. I mean, I've given people really simple, easy things to help their gut. And I've given them full-blown protocols, you know, with the GI map and, 10 supplements. And certain protocols are, more desirable from different clients. It's really like up to them. I'm actually very flexible with my clients. But if they say they want a specific outcome, like they really want to eradicate blasto, well then, which is a parasite, then yeah, like we need to like take this route. If that's really what you want, that's important to you, and perhaps are following a suggestion because I'm agreeing that I agree. Like my professional suggestion is that you go all the way with this, and it will make a big difference for you and it'll be absolutely worth it. So, we want to be into the space of what's not working to open that course correction for growth and new opportunities to learn. Especially in the beginning, if you get really gung-ho people and the follow-through is not very good, is to back up and explore and discover and allow that to be part of the healing, allow that to be part of the journey. And also stand firm in, yeah, if you said if this is what you wanted, it is more black and white. Okay. Also, something that helps with curiosity and being in a neutral space of curiosity is people always have good reasons, really positive intentions for doing or not doing things. So if you can come in from that space always to your sessions, then it really diffuses a lot of the frustration that you might be feeling. Because I can attest to certainly feeling frustrated so many different times and just really wishing I could help the person that was in front of me. And the only thing I could come up with at the time was, well, them just following through. That was the only way, and not looking underneath at the good reasons for them not doing things was, there's plenty of things. Them protecting themselves, them, feeling worried that they were not going to be be able to have fun anymore. I mean, all kinds of things that get in our clients' way that, maybe sometimes look like a big storm, but the reasons are there. Okay. So let's talk about feedback language, actually getting into the language. So start with I, right? So we have that personal responsibility. You never want to start giving feedback with you, right? So this is not blaming, it's I. This is my perception, my window, my frame. I'm the expert, I'm leading this. What I see is I'm noticing that you are really motivated in sessions and commit to follow through, but then for the second week in a row, you haven't kept your word, or you've come in here without doing your action steps because chances are and I appreciate that you're always ready to come in and do the work in sessions. This is such an important piece. However, you will not get the result that you said you wanted without taking the right action. So do you think we should revisit that, right? Or how are you feeling about it? And then also communicating to them that some parts of what we are doing are flexible, but some are required, right? If that's true, you're going to let them know that. Okay. And then see what they say. Okay. And last but not least, in feedback, how can I support you? Some of the most powerful words that you can offer someone doing this work, because it naturally suggests that the work is theirs, it's not yours. So how can I support you? And there's so many different ways that you possibly could as well, right? There could be an extra check-in. They could say, hey, I'm going to text you, on Wednesday at 1:00, just to, let you know that I am on track and I am present to what's going on. So feedback, there are so many different scenarios that you can use this in. Anytime that you are wanting to communicate something that you're not sure that the client is aware of, or you feel is an elephant in the room. Now, a lot of this really gets solved with Balance and Shine and the content, but still there are things that slip through the cracks. So having the courage to use your voice, speak up, ask permission, and go and address these things really will reduce the pressure. And the more you do that, just the lighter you'll feel overall, and it'll be great. So I also wanted to finish with the whole idea of 3 strikes you're out. What if you do all of Balance and Shine? What if you do all of this and you get feedback? And then what if it doesn't work? There are certain circumstances where in our situations where that happens. It totally happens. You can do everything right. You can ask all the right questions, and still someone just isn't in that space and they need something different, and it's not you. And so in that space, I like to implement the 3 strikes and you're out. So that third time they've promised, you've given them feedback, they've gone through the content in Balance and Shine. Maybe they're on weeks 3 or 4, however you're presenting the content to them, whatever weeks you're using or whatever type of content you're using with them, and you're still getting that feeling like, oh my gosh, it's still not happening, is having that tough conversation with them that says, hey, you know what? I feel like, you are, again, this is the 3rd time. And usually after the 3rd time, I usually start to ask if this is really a fit. And I've asked how I could support you. And so I'm wondering, I'm curious if you might need XYZ. And that could be something around therapy. It could be something around, maybe it's just not the right time. Yes, your policies and procedures will have to support this method, but if you just know that you're getting that sinking feeling and that heavy feeling in your stomach, like this person, I'm just not really sure, like if this is even working, nothing's happening, they're not trying, or whatever it is that's happening, you have every right to have that conversation and release them in complete and total joy. Okay, you didn't fail. It's really it's the opposite. If you keep somebody going for too long and they're not getting results, well then, that's really part of that is also on you. So having that conversation is and the ability to have it is really gold. And over time, the stronger you get at having these conversations in a more compassionate, neutral, loving way, the less this will ever even be a problem for you from the beginning. Okay. So that is it. Thank you for joining me in this module on feedback, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.